In a campaign of fire and blood, King Odin sought to unite the 9 realms under the throne of Asgard. One by one, the branches of the world's tree fell under their control.
There comes a point in time, my dear, when a warrior must lay down his sword.
Unable to quench his daughter's thirst for blood, the All-Father opted to contain it. But in this universe,
The entire cosmos is out there, waiting to be ruled, and yet you wish to stop at 9 realms. You wanting me to give up the fight. Father, you cannot do this to me. You will not! I cast you out!
the most powerful forces on Earth often come from beyond.
什么情况？
来者何人？
拿来！
I'm afraid the only one who gives orders around these parts is me. Most people do well to fear me.
Same, but you see, darling, I'm not most people.
Take her.
Oh dear, here we go. What is this? That power, it is not of this realm. If I only had my crown, it would be you who would kneel before me.
Then show me. Don your crown, and we shall find out.
Come on. How does gravity work here on Midgard? You know what? Doesn't matter. Oh, color's not bad. At least your blood won't stain it when I slit your throat.
I see in you a fighter, Hela, just like me.
My father once saw the same.
We can protect the world.
Oh, you are a confident one. I'll give you that.
I like to think I just know what I want.
You know, you're handsome when you're unconscious. Show yourself! I command you! What in the world?
I am Jayi. I speak for the Elder Council of Talo.
I am Hela.
We know who you are. Our realm is a border protecting the people of Earth from threats of the underworld. Threats like you.
Then suppose I could interest you all in taking up arms in my name?
One cannot fend off darkness with more darkness. Only light.
Yes, it's a lovely sentiment, to be sure.
Look to the sun. When it reaches its zenith, your training begins.
Message received.
Now you're ready to begin. And our practice pertains to everything. When your mind is at peace, you can see the lessons. And when you dare to live the lessons, then you become a master.
Father? Oh, no.
Leaving so soon? Your training is far from complete.
Odin terrorizes the countryside in my name. Without a fight, I'm no one.
If you choose this path, you will walk it alone.
With or without you.
Hela, Impressive armor!
Make some dragon scales.
My dear girl, when you disappeared from Heimdall's view, we thought the worst.
Or if you come for the fancy bracelets.
The 10 rings do not belong in these primitive hands. Return to my side, Hela.
Leave this place and never return.
I am your father and your king.
I will no longer be party to your conquest.
Perhaps you have forgotten. I stripped you of your crown.
We need to separate him from Gungnir.
Who's Gungnir?
That is. Please, Father, let us end this violence once and for all. No god should have dominion over death who has so little appreciation for life.
I sent you here to learn, to grow, and in the end, you eclipsed even my wildest expectations.
But when I'm finished, the 9 realms will know freedom, and the cosmos soon thereafter.
There, on an ancient battlefield, a man and a woman, an empire not of conquerors, but of liberators. Even the darkest of hearts can come to know peace.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and I want to thank all of you guys for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. Today, I'm going to try to start wrapping up the What If series. We got 3 episodes left, 2 more after this. And then I want to kind of get into the Echo series a little bit. That was recently released. But yes, what if Hela found the power of the 10 rings? Of course, as always, Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, Kate Blanchett as Hela, Jeffrey Bergman as Odin, Fedor Chin as Wen Wu, Lauren Tom as Jaya, Idris Elba as Heimdall, and Michael Hagawarer as Shun Yun. I'm sorry for mispronouncing any of those names. It's totally not meant to be disrespectful at all. But basically, as we know in the MCU, Hela is Thor's older sister, was Odin's right-hand man, so to speak, a woman, his executioner, the general of his army, the baddest asses of all the badasses, right, in Asgard. And he wound up banishing her because when it was time for him to not be in the war phase of his life, once he gained control of all of it, he decided then to guide and lead by peace, being all his enemies in his eyes were vanquished. But Hela didn't want to just stop at where Odin stopped. She wanted to continue to expand and basically put a stranglehold anywhere that they can gain a foothold. So Odin banished her basically to another dimension, basically, and left her there until Ragnarok came and she destroyed Mjolnir. I know I didn't pronounce that right. And she wound up being taken out during Ragnarok, and because that's basically the only way Thor was going to be able to beat her with any type of ease, which is bringing the end of everything to the end. And here, we see that he banishes Hela to Earth without her powers and kind of gets the storyline of Thor to the degree of that she is being perceived as a brat, so to speak, and needs to find her worthiness again. And in the meantime, during the time period she was left on Earth, is around the time where Wenwu had discovered the power of the Ten Rings. He was already kind of like in charge, so to speak, and him and Hela almost, like in a way, started to gain feelings for each other, right? And kind of put in a unique position of, because initially Shang-Chi's mother and father, obviously how they met, but got Wenwu here, Jaya, Hela winds up being trained by both of them in a way because she wants to initially go back and take control from her father with the knowledge and army behind her, but she soon realizes through her training that she's really meant for something greater than that. And when Heimdall can't really seem to see or sense her anymore on Earth, that's when Odin decides to come and kind of like, where's my daughter and this and that, and they have a confrontation, and this is where we see a unique twist from Hela where through the powers of her own and what she's trained and learned how to do on Earth, she decides not to kill Odin, and basically that's where she becomes the good version of herself. She becomes encompassed in white and bright light. Her helmet, much like Thor's hammer, was stuck in one particular area without being able to be lifted by anybody, even Hela herself. But when she kind of transformed into this being of good and enlightenment, the helmet seemed to have come to her, and she basically ascended herself to a new level, so to speak. She became, basically, like if you want to think about her being the goddess of death, she almost became, in a sense, in my eyes, like the goddess of life in this, right? I mean, if you wanted to take a little cheeky look at it like that, again, the animation was great. Good to see Cate Blanchett come and reprise her role as Hela. I did enjoy her as Hela. I think one of Marvel's major issues in the movies is that they don't really bring back too many villains. They brought back Thanos, but it wasn't exactly the Thanos that we rode with for all those years. It was, Thanos plucked from, from one time and brought into our time. So it wasn't exactly the Thanos we all grew to love and hate at the same time, right? Um, I think like Marvel does a lot of that, like with Killmonger, Whiplash, um, these type of characters are taken out so early from long-term storytelling that it kind of takes you out when you see, even when you see a cool villain come. It's like, all right, well, Hela has a long history with Thor. Killmonger has a long history with Black Panther, right? Maybe you can't really do that anymore, but to get rid of these characters so blase, bring them in, and these heavy hitters, right? These big time actors. Like, I know that it's kind of hard to roadmap movies the way you can comic books, right? You can roadmap a comic book for a year in basically a week, where you kind of know where every issue is about to go, how every issue is going to end. Maybe the paneling will change from day to day or week to week, depending on what issue you're working on, depending on how far along you are in the process of storyboarding to execution. But that's why you have the power of technology, the power of storytelling, to where you can have some of these people come back. But that's why What If, I think, is one of the cooler concepts, because you can come back. Like Idris Elba's Heimdall in this was great to see, because you're not going to really see him in live action anymore unless somehow Thor finds a way to bring him back from Valhalla, or unless they show scenes of him in Valhalla like they did at the end of Love and Thunder. Um, so I think that's always been one of my big things for this What If series, and I love What If in a general sense, because we do it in our own lives. What if we did this? What if we did that? What if we turned left instead of right? And what if this one thing didn't happen or did happen, then all these other things that came afterwards wouldn't have felt like dominoes, right? And that's always just in movies, we've been getting the what if question since It's a Wonderful Life, where George Bailey was the star of the first multiversal movie, so to speak, right? He got to see a universe in which he was never born. And I think that at that time, that was a good concept to go, especially for a Christmas movie. But now I'm really on a rant, right? Really on a divergent. Let me bring it back. I liked this episode issue. I did, but um, I have an appreciation for the character Hela, and I love Kate Blanchett, and I've liked the Thor movies, except for Love and Thunder. I don't really like that movie at all. I think that movie's trash, to be honest. Um, but a trash story, not so much trash visually. It was a big wasted opportunity. But as far as this episode's concerned, it's not my favorite episode, just for the fact that, I have an appreciation and respect for these characters, but I don't really have a connection to them. Um, Even with the Shang-Chi stuff. I like Shang-Chi, but I've never really collected his stuff or really followed his story too much. I think it's cool that he's a kung fu master. Don't get me wrong, I respect that for sure. But Um, yeah, I mean, it was great. I'll still give this like a 7 or an 8, but I don't really think, as far as it being an episode that I liked a lot, it wasn't there. Um, but maybe we'll see how we'll take it in the future if they decide to ever revisit this character. You know, maybe there's another story out there that uh, I can really enjoy a little bit more than this. But it was good to see Hela in a different light and actually learn the lessons of war and peace and love and life and stuff like that. So at least I'll give that credit for sure. Just I preferred some of the other episodes better. That's all. It doesn't mean that this was a bad episode. Just not my favorite. But you let me know down below what you think. And until next time, peace, Nookums.